Rich Tehrani, we're at the IT Expo Tech Super Show 2020 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Dave Ginsburg is with us. He's with Aryaka. Dave, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great, and thanks for inviting me.
Our pleasure. So
Thanks.
I've been writing about Aryaka a lot this year on my blog at Tehrani.com. I interviewed your CEO. I wrote about your funding. You got $50 million from Goldman Sachs. A whole bunch of wins. Like what else? What else did I miss? Like what's going on now at the company?
Yeah, so I think that the biggest change is in November we announced it's really a strategic repositioning of the company and the product offering. We introduced the term smart services that I can talk about, but just as importantly, we came up with a tagline, the Cloud First WAN Company. And I think it really articulates our DNA, where we are and where we're going. And if you look at, dissect that tagline, Cloud First, as you're aware, we were probably first off the starting line with the cloud consumption model for a wide area infrastructure, 10 years ago with WAN optimization as a service. So a lot of people now are calling it the network consumption model, where we remove all complexity from the enterprise. We make it simple for them. It's an OpEx model. It's a consume versus a construct model. And then the second part of the tagline is WAN, which you might find funny because we associate ourselves with SD-WAN, but what we offer really goes beyond the common definition of SD-WAN, where we have security, we have multi-cloud connectivity, we have the network and the application optimization, we have the last mile services, and there's a lot of scuttlebutt right now. Is it SD-WAN? Is it SASE, which you've heard of? And we see these are all just components of this larger integrated service, which is really a next generation WAN for the enterprise.
I actually like the term SD Internet, which a couple vendors use, and I may be the only media person that discusses it. I think that's another good one because people tend to understand what that is. But
yeah. Well, SD Internet, that some of our customers use that term. Some of our customers still use the term, network as a service, which is another good articulation of what we do.
Oh, SD data center is another one I'm seeing.
A little bit less what we do because, we have enterprises, they connect, from their data centers, from their branches, from their headquarters into our backbone. And so there's a little bit of a Venn diagram of, the technology vendors and, what enterprises are looking for in a software-defined data center, but that, of course, interoperates with our global backbone.
And Aryaka has really focused nicely on being the enabler for digital transformation. I mean, to some degree, if digital transformation typically involves moving to cloud, you have to ensure that your cloud applications are accessible from wherever they need to be accessed, and thus having the best SD-WAN possible.
That's very true. And so we have very active customers, technical advisory boards, customer advisory boards. And one of the things that they say to a T is that the WAN has to be an enabler of digital transformation. It can't be a disabler. And by enabler, we mean, when I said about the simplicity, the operational model, they want their IT teams to really be enabled to go to that next level. And what we do on the global level, and what we now do with a new regional offering, which is new for us. We were, known as the go-to company for global deployments. Now, we're toe-to-toe with some of the vendors that have really made their mark in regional deployments. But our customers say, Aryaka, this is what you do best. You're an enabler for my digital and for my WAN transformation.
Anything else going forward that we should know about? You talked a little bit about the future, but are there other things that the viewers might be interested in?
Yeah, sure. The smart services, as I mentioned, that's really a re-articulation, a strategic positioning of our service offering. And so within Smart Services, there's a number of components. There's Smart Connect, and that's the global, the regional connectivity. That's the last mile services. Customers come to us and say they have a lot of issues trying to contract and work with ISPs out in the regions. We do that for them now. We have what we call hybrid WAN, where you can go over our global infrastructure, you can go over MPLS, you can go over broadband internet, you can go over, say, LTE or in the future 5G. One of the big enhancements is in our security offering, that Smart Secure, and we've had good edge security. We've had partnerships in cloud security gateways with the likes of Zscaler or Symantec or Palo Alto, but also what we announced was a closer partnership with Palo Alto for the implementation of a virtual firewall on our SD-WAN Edge appliance. And this is, once again, we're trying to remove all complexity, all friction from the customer's SD-WAN deployment. As part of that, they come to us and say, handle my security. So one part of that is a virtual firewall. The second part of that is we will now manage their virtual and physical security appliances.
Wow, that's really exciting. How do people learn more?
Through Aryaka. I mean, we have a website, we have a sales and channel team, so it's www.aryaka.com.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.